Hello, my name is Jay, and today I will be covering the events of the second chapter of the novel Old Thot Next Door, a masterful work of urban literature written by the humble Quan Millz. Firstly, I will recap the previous chapter, Chapter 1, then hop right into the second chapter of Old Thot Next Door. Before we begin, I would like to provide a brief disclaimer that this novel and recap will contain written descriptions of graphic sexual content. If this is not your style, I suggest not watching this video or grabbing a trusted guardian or conservator to watch with. Without further ado, let's go on to the recap of Chapter 1 of Old Thot Next Door. In the first chapter, we are introduced to Vernita Ernestine Washington, the titular Old Thot. She is a 76-year-old woman who consumes alcohol, primarily Hennessy, marijuana, and occasionally before sexual encounters, ginkgo biloba pills. We learn her secrets to preserving her mobility, which is frequent intimacy with sexual partners much younger than herself, and furthermore begin to understand that Vernita, despite her advanced age, feels she is more youthful than her peers. Vernita begins a sexual encounter with two young men, Markel, her personal trainer, and Will, a friend of Markel. While initially hesitant due to her age, Will eventually warms up to the prospect and agrees to engage in a sexual threesome with Markel and Vernita. Vernita leaves the two of them to retrieve marijuana and alcohol to supplement this encounter, but when she returns, she finds them making out and stroking one another's erect members. The chapter ends here on a cliffhanger, so let's dive right into chapter 2 and figure out how Vernita deals with her seemingly bisexual young dicks. Chapter 2 begins where Chapter 1 abruptly concluded. Vernita, upon seeing Will and Markel stroking one another's hard penises, states that, I did not get down like this, at all. I was still a bit old school, though later she admits a gigantic smile came across my face. Y'all don't need to stop. I loves it. This is gonna be very, very interesting. We learn about Vernita's troubled past. She has a deceased husband named Clarence, and Clarence was probably rolling over in his grave right now if he saw what I did. I felt like I was in one of those pornos. Furthermore, we also learned that in this sexual encounter with her young dicks, Markel and Will, she performed DPDA, dick in the pussy, dick in the ass. And she claims, Miss Vernita is a vet. All my holes can handle all types of meat. Lastly, in this encounter, she claims, them boys slid right up in me with ease. Her late husband, Clarence, was unable to satisfy Vernita sexually. His baby dick was shameful, and his ass ain't never gave me the sexual satisfaction I needed. She is glad he passed on, calling him an old fat motherfucker, and that the reason she finds herself in many frivolous, intimate encounters in her advanced age is that he passed away from a stroke about 3 years ago, and since then I've been getting my fuck on like none other. I gotta make up for lost time. Vernita is a former, now retired employee of the Department of Motor Vehicles, or the DMV, where she worked with her friend Alice. Vernita often goes to clubs and bars with Alice, and at this moment she is back in my bathroom, getting ready to hang out with one of my friends. This hangout is a blind date at a local club with a friend of Alice's cousin. In regards to this and her blind date, Vernita claims that Alice had better not be setting me up with some limp dick friend either. Her and I were gonna have it out. After this, Vernita gives us a true nugget of wisdom, saying, Life is too short to be caught up on how people think of you. You gotta do you, child. Shit, you got one life to live. Live it to the fullest. Ain't nobody got time to get their time wasted. Vernita doesn't dress her age, according to her, and for the events tonight she is wearing a black leather Gucci bodysuit and some matching pumps. I made sure to buy this outfit a little extra tight too, because I wanted this friend to see this fat cat of mine. We learn that Vernita drives a 2019 red drop-top Ford Mustang, which she affectionately calls Paulette. A song is playing on the radio that goes, Do it, baby, stick it, baby, move it, baby, lick it, baby. Suck up on that clit until that pussy has a hickey, baby. Alice and Vernita arrive at a club called a dating game, though Vernita finds Alice's attire for the evening unsuitable for their planned debauchery. She claims, No wonder her husband left her raggedy ass years ago. In fact, I didn't even know why I was hanging out with this heifer tonight. You know what? Let me stop. We learn how Vernita feels about Alice behind closed doors, as well as some information about Alice's past, claiming, I kind of felt bad though for Alice because her husband wasn't no good and he used to beat her ass like a runaway slave. And guess once he realized Alice was getting too old for his liking, he straight up left her for some young nasty bitch. I'd be damned if I would ever allow a friend to put his hands on me. The only thing you allowed to beat up on me was this pussy. Firstly, Alice exclaims the music Vernita listens to is crude and crass, and that Vernita's comment about her potential blind date, which was, all I know is this friend you hooking me up with better look like Shamar Moore and better have a big old black dick, is uncouth and unfit for a woman of Vernita's stature. Shortly after this, Vernita expresses her interest in only engaging in sexual intercourse with a man much younger than her, and anyone remotely close to her age with, she is uninterested in. Alice disagrees with this, and she states, Child, bye. You got it all messed up. You keep on going after these young guys if you want to. At the end of the day, you can do all the things you want to do with them, but they'll always run back to one of their peers. Then what you gonna do after that? You think one of these boys want to be laid up with someone who gonna be in a home in less than a decade? Vernita is furious about this, and she says, and all the young guys I ever messed with never broke my heart to link up with a younger hoe. Besides, who said I even wanted a relationship? I was married for 50 years. Companionship sounded nice and all, but for right now, all I wanted was just to have a good time. This marks the end of the second chapter of Old Thot Next Door. Next time, we will look at chapter 3 of Old Thot Next Door. Hopefully, Vernita is able to secure some young dick. Until next time, everyone, take care and have a great night.